Wow, I was broker than when I was in college, and I was broke in college. And on April 14th, I had €1, 26 cents. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendra and ich bin deine Lieblingsauslanderin, coming back to you with another video. I have worn a few different hats in my lifetime, and one of them was working as an au pair in Berlin. So about 3 years ago, I moved to Berlin to teach English. But I found that the English teaching market was a little bit oversaturated at the time, and after about a month or so, I was starting to feel like I'm not gonna find a job here. So I started to look into au pair work because I figured it would give me the opportunity to stay in Germany. I would still be able to teach English, and I love kids. Now, I had an amazing time in Berlin. I still talk to and visit my host family, and the child I took care of is like a little sister to me. I love being able to watch her grow up, but it also came with some setbacks. So if you're interested in being an au pair and you want to hear about some of the pros and cons in my experience, keep on watching. Before we get started, make sure you click the like button and the subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So I know in my 2021 video I said I'm not going to be an optimist anymore, but let's start with the positives. So the first pro of being an au pair is that you get to live in a foreign country. If it has always been your dream to move abroad, I think working as an au pair is a great start. I've heard stories of people who worked as au pairs and after their contracts ended, they continued to work in childcare or education or even went to university in Germany. After a year of living in a country, you become comfortable with the culture and the people and just life in the country in general. And it's also a great way to get some travel experience under your belt. When I was an au pair, I went to the UK, Czech Republic, Poland, and Spain. And it's great that I was living in a major city, so I could get to those cities very easily and just be able to travel very easily at a low cost. Next pro, no expenses. You get to live in your dream country rent-free, not paying for groceries, not paying for health insurance, and that is amazing, especially like a young person. What else could you ask for? So in Germany, your family is also required to pay for you to attend German classes. You can also negotiate other things into your contract. Like, I had a phone bill that wasn't that expensive, but my logic was because I need the phone to, be able to contact the family, and because I knew they could afford it, I also asked my family to pay for my phone bill. And some lucky people out there also get trips and holiday bonuses and extra vacations. So there are a lot of perks when it comes to the low cost of working as an au pair. Third pro is that being an au pair is a cultural exchange. You get to live with a family that is perhaps very culturally different than your own. It's the most authentic way to have exposure to another country, in my opinion. Berlin is a very multicultural city, so it can be hard to get out of the trap of not having German friends or not speaking German. So living with a family that speaks German can eliminate that barrier for you. I was actually really grateful that my host mom didn't speak English too well, because it meant that I had to improve my German. And we would actually have these study sessions at night where I would learn new German words and she would learn new English words. So it was the perfect cultural exchange. The family also spoke Russian, so I got to learn a lot about Russian and Jewish culture. And I got to teach them a lot about Black American culture because the only exposure they really had to it was what they saw on TV, so I had to clear up a lot of things. But I also got to teach them a lot about myself and my family came to visit me. So it was this ongoing, beautiful cultural exchange, and everybody got to know each other a little better. The fourth pro of working as an au pair is that you get to learn valuable life skills. As most 22-year-olds, when I became an au pair, I didn't really know how to cook that well. I didn't really know how to clean that well, but I had to learn those things because it was a part of my job. And I learned how to make very basic meals. I learned how to keep a house. And those are very practical things that I need now that I have a place of my own. I also learned how to take care of a child, which is something I never really done before. And let me tell you, you don't know anything about kids until you live with and take care of them. But I was fortunate to learn those things in my early 20s, because now that I'm in my mid 20s, I actually really love to clean and keep a clean place. I still don't like cooking, but it's something that I have to do to survive. So I'm very grateful that I learned those life skills. And we're back. So let's get into those cons. First con of being an au pair, children. Now, like I said before, you don't really know children well until you have to live with them and take care of them. And as an au pair, you're pretty much just a random stranger that comes into their house and starts telling them what to do. You're probably not the first random stranger, because a lot of families hire different au pairs from year to year, because in Germany you can only work as an au pair for up to a year. And yeah, it can be a little bit hard to establish your authority because, I mean, at the end of the day, the parent has the ultimate authority and you just have to enforce it. So it can be a little bit difficult to earn the respect of the kids in the beginning. I was very much a child when I became an au pair, and when kids see that, they take advantage of it. So it can be a little bit difficult at first, especially if you want the kids to like you. As someone once told me, when it comes to kids, you can always start off strict and slowly start to loosen up, but you can never start off like as a pushover and then try to become more strict. The kids are not going to respect you. So yes, it can take a little bit of time before you actually feel like you have some authority in the house. Second kind of being an au pair, you're always on call. Guess what? It can be Saturday night, you know, you're getting ready to go, you're looking all cute, your friends are waiting for you, and your host family can still tell you have to stay home and babysit. The good thing about being an au pair is this shouldn't happen often, because you're supposed to set a schedule with your family in the beginning of your contract. And legally in Germany, au pairs can only work up to 30 hours a week, but things come up, things happen, and that it doesn't always work out that way. Plus you live in their house, so at the end of the day, they can pretty much ask you to work whenever they need you to work. And it's a good idea to negotiate extra pay if you have to work extra hours. But the reality of it is sometimes you're gonna have to work when you don't plan on working. And the same thing goes for when you have time off and you stay home. It's not always easy to tell children, especially young children, hey, you can't come in my room, it's my time off. I mean, you should set those boundaries. And that's something I was doing in the beginning. But as I started to get closer to the child I was taking care of, I started to feel bad doing that, because I was like, oh, this is my little sister, you know, I can't not let her come in the room. So whatever I was doing, I'd be like, okay, well, you can help me do this, or you can do this with me, or we can play this game. It is a little bit difficult to set those boundaries because yes, they're your employers, but they're also your family. The third con of being an au pair is you slowly start to revert back to being a teenager. So an au pair is like a proxy parent, or kind of like a big sibling, or kind of like a teenager. So if you wanted to come to Germany to become an au pair to get some sense of independence, I gotta say you might be disappointed, because at the end of the day, you still live with a family and you're still financially dependent on them. And that's why I suggest, if you have the opportunity to be an au pair between 18 and 20 rather than when you're older than that, because you can be an au pair up until age 26 in Germany, I recommend that you do it while you're younger. Because when you're younger, you can, When you're younger, you can still move abroad, but maybe you still need some kind of parental figure to guide you. Versus when you're older, it might feel like too much. I mean, that's not to say that there's nothing to gain from being an older au pair. Like I said, I couldn't really cook or clean before I became an au pair, so I learned those life skills. But I also had someone checking what time I came in the door and wanted to know who I was dating and wanted to know who I was hanging out with. And those were things that I hadn't really dealt with since high school. So it did kind of make me feel like I was 16 years old again. But I understand, because you're a part of their family and you're around their children, so they want to make sure you're a good person. That doesn't make it any easier to deal with though. The fourth and final con of being an au pair is money. You don't make a lot of money. When I was an au pair, the salary was 260 euro a month. If you're like me and you like to go out a lot and you like to travel a lot, you're gonna have a really bad time if you don't have another source of income or you're bad with money. Let me show you guys what my bank account was looking like before I had my side income. This is gonna be scary, but bear with me. This is a cautionary tale for all you young people who are bad with money. Wow, I was broker than when I was in college, and I was broke in college. I usually got paid in the middle of the month. So I remember March to April being a particularly bad month, because that was the month that I went to Spain. And I got paid on March 12th. I got 260 euro, and then I got another 131 because my family also paid for my train pass. So March 12th, we had 424 euro, 37 cents. I went to Spain, and by the time I got back from Spain, I had 5 euro and 74 cents on April 6th. On April 12th, I had 2 euro, 86 cents. And on April 14th, I had 1 euro, 26 cents. Whew. and then I got paid on April 16th. Let that be a cautionary tale for you if you're thinking about becoming an au pair and you're not good with managing money. You will have to live on a very tight budget and it's not fun at all. So I hope this video was helpful for anyone out there who's thinking about becoming an au pair, and I hope this gave you a little bit of insight of what it's like, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, the children. I plan on making some more videos, giving some more tips and tricks about how to become an au pair and how to be a successful au pair, and I have a lot more cautionary tales for you guys. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.